Joining us now from San Jose, Costa Rica, is CBC Sports senior contributor Chris Jones. Chris, how you doing?
I'm feeling it. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Last night was total mayhem, pure chaos. It's been a bit for me covering footy in a hostile stadium with the language difficulties and gates everywhere and no Wi-Fi, and it's good. Got to get some reps back in.
Now, I understand, Chris, that you were actually I would say, fellow goalkeeper or former goalkeeper, because you're still playing, because you look fit as they could be. So, of course, why would you retire? But I understand that you also get a few injuries here and there. And how did you feel looking at the goalkeepers last night? Do you think you could have made a contribution?
I did not feel like I wanted to play in that game. I wasn't looking at it thinking everything was so magnified all night long, and I don't know if I can explain this properly, but other results were mattering, so the standards were changing as the game went on. So Panama were winning at first, and it's like, okay, Canada has to win, and Honduras somehow ties. Then there was this weird situation where if Mexico won, Canada could still lose and qualify, and it was like every pickup, I was watching the keepers constantly, and like every slow roller, just you drop a ball and it just changes the course of, who's playing in a World Cup at this stage. It was pretty wild to watch it all unfold. It was nervy. I was nervous. We were all talking to the press box about how much the adrenaline. It sounds so silly because we're just sitting there watching it, but like my chest was vibrating the whole time. That stadium was so loud. Mm-hmm. The Costa Ricans were so deeply into it. It was just a real buzz to be there, and I did not want to play in that game. I was stressed enough watching it.
It came through on TV, and you teed it up off the top by saying it was mayhem. What was this is the first time that this team has really played in a traditional kind of CONCACAF atmosphere. What was it really like in the stadium? Because it came through on TV how loud it was.
So loud. It was so loud, and it's been a bit. Edmonton had more people, and Edmonton did great. I don't want this to turn into Edmonton did not turn out, because Edmonton was amazing. There was 34,000 people there, and it sounded like a million. It was so loud, and so anti-Canadian. And it was weird. I don't know about you guys. It was weird feeling like the enemy. Canada, you travel, and normally you're like, hello, everybody. And it was, there's fireworks going off during the anthem and whistling and hissing, and it was spicy. It was spicy. There were some Canadians there because I've seen them on my flights in my hotel, but I did not see them at the stadium. They were drowned out.
Isn't it amazing when you get in that kind of environment, and it just becomes unfair? And people travel to Costa Rica all the time for holidays. Many Canadians live in Costa Rica, yet when you get to their favorite sport, football, it becomes very serious, and nothing is off the table, is it? Nothing. Absolutely.
No. They've been wonderful hosts the whole time we were here. Like the Costa Rican Federation has been awesome with us. And then the game started. It was there was no more friendliness, afterwards the mix zone, we've been told, okay, there's gonna be a mix zone and everything's arranged, everything's organized. There was no mix zone. It was there was a Costa Rican mix zone, and then everything else went completely sideways. But it was good. It was honestly, it's been a long 2 years for something. I love covering football live, and it was just nice to be back in such an intense environment in a way. It was a lot of fun. Not the result that we wanted, of course.
Now for Sunday, Chris, as a writer, they could have obviously clinched, and your writing would have been a lot different than what you would have put out after the Costa Rica game. But as a writer, does it make it more exciting, more dramatic, a bigger moment if Canada actually qualify on Sunday for you?
Yeah, I am not. So writing today, I went pretty hard on Mark Anthony Kaye. I'm not the kind of guy who's just like, that's fine. Everything's fine. That's just not how I approach the sport. That being said, if Canada had backdoored it, like if Mexico had won and the lot, and and with no fans or very few fans there, it would have felt, I think, slightly anticlimactic for such a historic occasion. And I think Sunday, to a man last night when they were coming out of that room, they were like, we're going to win on Sunday. I mean, they were just, it was not like, oh, we're going to do our best. It was, we're going to come out and kick the hell out of Jamaica. And in front of BMO Field, sold out in Toronto, I think it'll feel festive. I think it'll feel much more like a party. I think it'll feel much more like a celebration. And honestly, I don't want to use the word coronation, but like the reception that this team deserves. It's last night was hard in a lot of ways, but you can't forget 17 straight qualifiers without a loss. Unbelievable. A ridiculous, wonderful run. And in a way, I think, you know, winning at home, clinching at home is a more fitting fairy tale end to the story.
Yeah, Sunday is going to be a celebration, and you know, clinching will be a culmination of decades of work to get back to this point. So, Chris, I enjoy reading your work. Thanks so much for jumping on the show to talk with Craig and I today.
So happy to see you guys. Thanks very much for having me.